Hey y'all, it has been a minute, but I'm back and I'm glad to be back and to be giving you some great, good coaching content that should be able to help you through whatever it is you might be going through, or even if you need to just pass it along to a friend. So be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. And I'm going to get into it. So I have called this video Me versus Me. And one of the things that I always like to encourage within my coaching practice, but just like in general life, is introspection. Being able to put a mirror to your face and say, okay, how am I doing? What have I done? Just different things like that, right? Um, and so, as it pertains to toxic environments, this actually is an important part of the exiting journey and leading up to where you will come into like just being able to thrive and be in more healthy communities that really support and speak life into you and things like that. So, this is a hard to swallow pill. And so, I want you to take a breath and hear this very, very clearly, because this can depending on how you hear it, you might be very offended with me, but I just got to tell you how it is and what the truth is as it pertains to toxic environments and certain things that we've gone through. We are partially to blame. We are partially responsible for what we experience. Now, hear what I'm saying very, very carefully, because I just gave a whole bunch of other videos telling you how to recognize gaslighting and how to recognize manipulation. And this is the type of stuff they would tell you. So it kind of seems, oxymoronic. It's just like, wait a minute, like, Elise, are you now gaslighting me? No. But what I am saying is that when we get caught in these for long periods of time, right? Is that what we're doing is enabling, because what we have come to learn, if you've been following this series, or even if you're new to it and you're just processing your own experience in your own life, it's that we are given red flags and signs and different cues, like it's right in front of us. It really comes down to what we do with what we see. Are we paying enough regard to it to say, something must be done? Or what is our response to this stimuli, basically? So I'll speak for me just so I can bring this concept to life if this is a little bit hard to, really digest, right? So I remember being having a roommate for some time, and it really wasn't the best experience for me. That's an understatement, but I'm gonna keep it there. But there were definitely some things where we like disagreements and differences in personality and certain things that was very evident within the first year that we lived together. But I didn't I didn't make a decision to say, okay, I think that maybe I'm gonna move out, or like like just live apart until I want to say it was 4 years after. So right. So again, this is stuff that I was seeing, I was noticing within myself, and noticing within her. That just wasn't going to work since year one. And so, what gets people to stay in, in very long-standing relationships like that, whether it's a roommate situation, whether it's a friendship, or a relationship, like what makes people do that? So for me, my whole thing was I had fear of confrontation. I had grown up being a people pleaser. I had lack of boundaries. I liked to be liked by people. My source of self-esteem and validation often came from other people. And that was just that was my MO. You know what I mean? And I think also too, um, there were other communities that I was part of. You know, I was a part of a religious cult. And some of you, if you've seen other videos, you know about that. If you've seen other things as part of the After Story series, you know about that. But so in some of these other systems or places where I was expected to show up, like, I mean, sometimes it could even be your job, right? Like, you're just kind of expected to give and serve and just be a yes person. And when you are that type of person, you're often praised and complimented. So I think for me, who was in some ways, you could say, yeah, I guess in some ways you could say I was like emotionally starved, kind of, sort of, not really. It was like, yeah, there was a level of it of like, I want to feel like I have a place somewhere. These are the things that actually tied me, because if I was actually able to just see it for what it was and really have the confidence and say, like, I don't actually deserve mistreatment. Like, I don't deserve to be the emotional punching bag. I don't deserve the lash outs. I don't deserve to be talked down to, or, you know what I mean? Like, if I just was secure enough in myself to say, oh no, this is not acceptable behavior, no matter what type of past this person has had, I would have made the choice much earlier. But it was like I had been groomed by multiple environments to behave a certain way. I think also too, just not understanding what forgiveness meant. So it was like, there might be a argument or a blowout between us, a misunderstanding. She's heated, I'm heated, and then it's just like, and then it's like, oh, we say sorry, and it's like, oh, it's okay, but then the cycle just repeats, and it repeats because we're like, I'm there, you know what I mean? So things like that are stuff that was enabling the cycles. I didn't have the boundaries to say, okay, here are my standards, and when it gets like this, I'm going to put a stop to it here or whatever. So it was just, I lacked the education. Within myself, that was what people would say about me. Their praise was my validation. And so that was a problem with me. So for you, it could be something different. I think also too, if I was to step up, like what would happen in our dynamic? Like, what was I going to tell mutual friends about what was going on? Like, would I lose that community because she and I weren't getting along? Like, so there was just so many things going on in my head, and really, what I bring it all down to is fear, right? So if you reference my step 0 video, I talk about how fear is the biggest reason why we don't do what we ought to do. Even if we can see red flags, even we know what it is that we should be doing, it's often fear of the future. What's going to happen next? What is that person going to think of me? What are other people going to think of me? And also too, within turbulence, there is security, right? So even though there were, I was feeling I got to a point where I was quite depressed living there. It's like, well, at least I'm not by myself, or I mean, price of rent is going up. It's just like, okay, well, I don't have as much as a financial burden by having this other person here. Different things. So I don't want to ramble and make this super long or anything like that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, there's some things, and honestly, like, I mean, I don't I don't hate this person either. So there were good times that we did have. So it's like, sometimes I would be like, oh man, I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could do it. But then we'd have a good time, and I'm like, wait a minute, like, I think I think we can make it work. And I also like to be the savior. So because I knew about her past and all this stuff, I was like, oh, I don't want to leave her hanging. I still want to, uh, help her believe in friendship and love. I don't know. Something's kind of silly and juvenile. The more I process it, I just laugh at myself. I'm like, yo, at least you was kind of dumb for that. Like, who'd you think you was gonna save? But anyways, that's not that's neither here nor there. But like, I mean, there was so many things. I needed to be the problem solver. So I was working through my own things, and that's what kept me staying. So think about what it is for you, right? And again, it's really hard to say, like, dang, I took part of it, but it's just a recognition of you have more power than you think. And so for the future, so that you're not caught up in anything like this in the future, or that like you have more of a defense, or just an ability to vet and be prepared if anything like this threatens to come your way again, is to really just work through those things. Like, what is it in you that makes you settle for things like this? Because these are detrimental environments. They're not just things that you can just sit in and be okay. There is something that happens to you psychologically, physically, mentally, whatever it might be. It takes a toll on you. And so, is it worth, you staying where you were at, or, like, is it worth it? Whatever thing you were trying to achieve through having that. And so this is just a video to help you like sit down and assess and just really work on figuring out what those roots are. Because my biggest goal is not only to help you understand and give you some insight so that you can come out of your situation, but it's just that so you it's as the saying goes, when you know better, you do better. So I'm looking forward to seeing people be able to take these steps and continue in the freedom of forgiveness, and being able to pursue healing, and be able to just thrive and live, and really be able to seize the autonomy over their life. And yeah, so that's my video for today. I hope that was helpful. Sometimes I feel like I'm rambling. I make sense to me, but if I don't make sense to y'all, definitely hit me up with questions and let me know. But this is it for today, and I will catch you next time. Thank you so much for your support. My socials are in the description box. So if you need to reach out to me for anything, for just general support, looking for coaching, anything of the sort, I'm here for you. So catch you next time, and take care. Bye.